Square challenged me, but I pushed through and finished a project, and I'm starting my biggest, most challenging granny square project yet. Hey, it's Tammy, Crafty Mompreneur. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Today is episode 21 of Granny Square Sunday, where every Sunday I share whatever granny square project I happen to be working on that week. Right now, I committed to crocheting all 40-something squares in a modern guide to granny squares. And so today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the square that I made, and then also show you the project that I completed this week using 5 squares from this book. And then I'm going to show you the square that I'm going to work on this week, as well as a project that I'm going to start that is a pretty challenging project for me anyway. That's what we're going to do, so let's just get right to the video. If you remember last week, I was having a little bit of a dilemma trying to figure out what square I should use in this pillow project that I was working on. And it was pretty unanimous that everyone thought that I needed to do another floral granny square to go with this motif. So that's what I did. I went ahead and grabbed the colors that I needed and got to work on this granny square. And I will tell you that it was more challenging than a 2, I thought. For me, it probably should have been a 3, but I suffered through it. And when I tell you suffered, I mean, I was ready to throw in the towel on it several times because I don't know what it was, but this was the square that I was working on, and I'm not sure what it was about it, but it was challenging. So I finished crocheting this square. It is far from perfect. This flower was a challenge for me. I'm just glad it's done. And I can put this project behind me. Somehow I ended up with extra stitches all throughout there, and then I tried to fix it. So you know what? It just is what it is. As you can see, I don't know if I miscounted the stitches. Somewhere along the lines, I messed up the number of stitches. And then as I was going through, I did not want to take it apart and restart it. And so I just went ahead and tried some decreasing to try and get me back on track with the right number of stitches. And it kind of turned into a hot mess. Then I decided to go with it and use it for the pillow project. I laid it all out, decided what I wanted it to look like, and just started the process of putting it together. I did end up adding an extra half double crochet around each one of the squares, so it would make the squares a little bit bigger to fit on the pillow. So I did that, and then I needed to add a couple more rounds to the purple. I didn't have enough purple, so I did have to go buy some more yarn from Hobby Lobby. Got that done and it was an evening, we were watching TV or something, and I was just working on it as we were watching TV, and got it all put together and finished. And now I can show you the actual final product. I was toying with the idea of putting in a zipper or buttons or something to make it removable, and then I thought, you know what, this isn't going to be a pillow that I use on the daily. I think that it's going to end up being just like a prop for my videos, because the color scheme doesn't really go with anything in my house really, and I don't have a designated room or craft room or space to, make a collection of things. So here is the final pillow. I'm gonna have to scoot back so you can see it. Here's the square that I did, and you can see it's bunched up, and it's definitely not perfect, but when you put it with everything else, I feel like it looks good, right? And then the back is just purple. So I mean, if this was in the color scheme of my living room or something, I would probably put it on my couch, but it's definitely not. My husband was like, well, it can be an Easter pillow. And I was like, that's a good idea. I could have it out for Easter and put up Easter decorations. So that is definitely an idea, because it is Easter-y looking. And I definitely like how these two go together and these two go together. And then does that pink line up? I think it does. Kind of looks like it doesn't, but it does. I finished another granny square project, so I'm pretty excited about that. It got me to thinking that I need to start another project to work on. So we're gonna get to that at the end of the video. Let's get back to this book. and pick a square that I'm gonna work on this week. And I was like toying with the idea of like setting this book to the side and like coming back to it later. But I was like, you know what? I can do a square a week from it while I work on other granny square projects. So that's what we're gonna do. And the one I picked to do this week, I just based it on Valentine's Day because Valentine's Day was Friday. Hope everyone had a happy Valentine's Day. I was treated to a yarn haul for my Valentine's Day, so you can see that in Tuesday's video. But here is the square I'm gonna do this week. It's called 3D Heart. It's a 2. See how it has 2 balls unshaded, or 2 solid balls right here. So I think I can do it. I looked at the instructions and it didn't seem too complicated. It was just a lot of chains. And then some, what are those, popcorn stitches? Let me see. Yeah, they're popcorn stitches and those aren't too bad. So yeah, and then I figured what I could do is, did I bring them? Oh yeah, I figured that I could use the color scheme from these that I made up in one of our episodes. And so I think I'm gonna do a red heart in the middle. We'll do a red heart and then cream where the green is, and then like a pink going around the outside, I think, because we've got both those 2 colors and then this. So yeah, I'm thinking red heart, because then this has the pink going around the edge right there. That's what's up for next week's square as we continue our way through this book. And now let's talk about my next like big granny square project to work on. I'm sure you guys remember this granny square card deck, and this was basically the whole thing that launched this whole series on granny squares. And I have quite a big stack of these because I've only used a handful of them for the work in progress bag that I made. And then what else have I made with those granny squares? I think I've only made the pin cushion and the work in progress bag. Yeah. And so I thought I would pull out the squares from this and start probably the most difficult granny square project that I will have worked on, and that is the granny square cardigan. I don't have any idea how to make a cardigan. I've seen a lot of tutorials and things like that, and know that it's going to take a lot of granny squares to do this, especially since these are like the smaller ones. So pull together all the ones that are similar in color, and here's what I have. I've also pulled the yarn that these are made out of. And so what I thought I would do in today's video is start getting a rough idea of what this is going to look like, how to lay it out, and all of that kind of stuff, because I've never done a granny square cardigan. And I mean, I think I've seen enough done that I could start laying it out to know kind of how many squares I'm going to need to make. And so we're going to do that together right now. Okay, so let me see here. I know I'm going to need a back panel. I'm not going to worry about the design so much, like the squares, but I know I'm going to need a back panel. So let's say the back panel is, I mean, that looks about good. I wish I had a cardigan to compare it to, but I really don't. Looks like I may just have enough for a back panel. That looks really big on the screen, but it's really not. All right, so let's just say I need, okay. It's literally like, it looks, I swear it looks bigger on the screen than it really is. But I feel like I need at least 3 more up there. So that's 3 for the back. And now for the front panels, if I do front panels, That would mean 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Let's just call it 20. Oh my gosh. And then sleeves. I guess if I'm constructing sleeves, I don't know how you do this, guys. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna have this and then maybe 3 around. I don't know. I don't know how to do this. Okay. All I know is I'm gonna need a lot of squares because a sleeve is gonna be at least 10. I mean, I don't know, 10, 12 sleeves each. Maybe I'm gonna just go with sleeves, maybe 10 each. So I'm thinking 20, 40. I'm gonna need like probably close to 40 to 50 more squares, to be honest. Now, you guys can totally critique this whole thought process and say, oh no, Tammy, you are way off. You are not doing it right. You don't need that many, or you need more than that. And let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to be crocheting more squares using these colors just to add, since I know that I'm going to need upwards of like 40 to 50 more probably. Since really, I think I only have enough for the back of the sweater. And then each week you guys can just give me tips as we go through this process, because for the next couple Sundays, I'm going to just be crocheting more squares out of the card deck. So that's my plan for that. I probably should have already had a pattern idea ready for this, but I kind of thought of it at the last minute and was like, you know what? I need to start the cardigan because I finished the pillow, and the next thing I could make is a cardigan because, I mean, I gotta use the squares sometime, right? We talked about the bear needing a sweater. Well, the bear is holding a pillow now, so I don't know that he needs a sweater, but I think I like these colors. It would be something fun to wear. I don't know. Anyways, so drop all of your granny square cardigan tips in the comments because your girl's gonna need them with this project. Right now, I think I have, how many squares do I have? 22. I have 22 squares right now, and I probably am guessing I need between 40 and 50 more depending on how I decide to lay them out. I do want kind of an oversized cardigan. So I think that's gonna do it. I think that is everything for this week. That's gonna do it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe because on Tuesday, I'm sharing my yarn haul along with some other fun stuff. So I hope that you'll tune in for that. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. With Crafty Mom. Is this how it's gonna go? Actually completed this week. The project, hold on. My cards just fell out of the box. Well, I'm sure you guys remember this